W Brown is Shadow Pope Stools.
That's me.
That awesome Shadow Priest, Shadow Pope.
Let's see. I'm gonna send some more people your way. Got people in my realm trade chat asking about you.
Oh, cool. Hey.
It's Koilie.
Yep.
Koilie.
Okay, not two consecutive I's because I know you've got two characters.
So are you gonna switch to your other priest for your main mob?
Nah. I don't really see a point since mounts and achievements are going to be account-wide. The only reason
Exactly, so why not go back to your original name?
Because then I would have to race change.
Again? Well, you might have to go panda anyway.
Well, yeah, here's the thing though. I want to have a human for PvP, so I would have to race change both. So...
Yeah, it's a problem. Have you done any of the theory crafting on panda racials at all?
Not really. I'm not really a math type of theory crafter. I'd let my other fellow friends do the math and then I do the practical application.
Yeah, because I'm hearing a lot of things saying that pandas are going to be the way to go.
Well,
as far
yeah.
as Alliance is concerned.
If they don't, bring their shit in line or bring others up, it's just going to be a one-way thing. Because
pandas everywhere.
I mean, alright, you get double int food. The max level int food I think you can make is 300 int, so you would get 300 bonus int as a racial. There's nothing that can compete with that. First of all, no other race gets a primary stat racial. You get a secondary or some kind of, the closest thing is like orcs or whatever that get like spell or attack power.
I guess my problem is, like, I guess I'm just cynical and I just know that they're gonna nerf the shit out of it as soon as it goes live.
There's no way they could.
People are gonna cry
because they don't. Well, their supposed idea is that you should be able to play the race and class that you want, and if their racial is that overpowered, it's just not going to be an option. It's or a choice. You're just gonna have to do it if you're a min-maxer for a world first progression guild, or even any guild that likes to min-max and stuff.
Okay, it's double of the consumable food that you get, right? Is that what it is?
Right.
So like, just even at level 85, you get 90 of your main stat and then stamina or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's an extra 90 intellect, which is like not even close to any other racial at all.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess my point is, like, I'm just cynical that it's gonna stay that way. There's no way that it's gonna stay that good.
Exactly. Like, okay, take a Worgen versus Panda, for instance. 1% crit versus 300 intellect.
Yeah. It's not even gonna be an option.
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that they're not that bad and they have something in the pipeline. They just haven't shown us yet. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just stupid. Here's what I thought would be a possibility. I thought they were gonna take primary stats off of food buffs and just make them stam and a secondary stat. That would almost balance it. But even then, it would still be like 300 haste or mastery would still depends on the scaling. I don't remember what. Actually, I don't remember how much.
I see this getting nerfed to like maybe 2% of your main stat extra. Like, I think it's gonna be that nerfed. Like, even 2% of main stat is still way better than 1% of crit or whatever. Like, I don't know. Just it seems incredibly short-sighted on Blizzard's part.
Yeah, I really can't see where that came from. See, when I first saw it, like I said, I thought either they're going to change food buffs to where they're weaker or they're not a primary stat, or they're going to be reworking all the racials, which they really should. But
yeah, they should.
So far, we have a release date announced now. I mean, there's still plenty of time to do it. I'm sure if they're planning on it, they've already been working on it for a while. But I mean, I think by now there would have been something leaked about it. there's not really a reason to keep it secret. I mean, people are like faction changing their entire guilds left and right because of PvE racials. I mean, if they had a plan, they would probably want to let us know. But then again, maybe they don't. Maybe they want a ton of people to faction change. That's a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have all these top guilds going horde, and then they're gonna be like, by the way, guys, we have buffed alliance racials. They're now OP.
Yeah.
Thanks for your money.
After that.
Mystery.
And then they're gonna have to like transfer everyone back because everyone's gonna put a ticket in and be like, cancel my transaction.
That's why I think Graph is waiting till like the last second to tell us whether or not we're gonna be doing it. You know what? That
feel all right. Like a long.
I think he has like inside scoop too. That's why I think they might have something going on. But like I'm saying, don't fucking take my word. I just feel like they can't be that stupid.
Yeah.
And they just want to get, like, they know there's this rush of people that these guilds that like a top guild, a big guild like Method goes horde, and you know all these other guilds who it doesn't even matter for them because I mean, what's it gonna make the difference between World 1000 and World 1050 if you change factions? But they don't. They just see a big guild do it and they want to do it. So that's big money for Blizzard. I think I could see them keeping something like this under wraps just for that purpose. I could see them doing that. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
And you know, that's a very cynical way of looking at things, but I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not they're not doing anything wrong. If people want to do this, they don't technically have to announce something that's not finalized yet.
Yeah,
just because
their excuse is it's still beta. You know, we're still figuring this out, but I'm just very skeptical that they're, like I said, that short-sighted.
Uh-oh, I think I just DC'd. Right back in.
Yeah, did you run into the wall?
I swooped down onto a rock and insta-disconnect though.
It's so annoying.
Yeah,
they did it to prevent.
That's one thing too, Max. I saw that they reworked the undead racial, which undead had like one of the weakest for PvE, obviously. But I figured, you know, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, here it comes, a racial overhaul, you know, like, because undead is not the only race in the game that has like little to no PvE usefulness.
So if you guys faction change, are you guys going to be going to a different server too? Or are you just staying on Dark Mountain?
I don't think we'll be moving servers, but I guess I really don't know anything.
Why would they leave Alterac Mountains?
Because it's a shitty server, it's like the...
Yeah,
It
but
has its-
they've got a lot of friends there, you know?
Not really.
Well, you may not, but like of the other 24, or let's just say 30 other raiders that y'all have, like I'm sure someone's got a pretty substantial, let's just say social network.
That's what Real ID's for.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to be on a shitty server. Like, I don't want to be on a server like Illidan, where it's like takes you 15 minutes to check your mail during certain peak hours, but I wouldn't mind being on a server with a medium, almost high pop with a healthy economy, you know, stuff like that.
So
our server's
like
really poor.
Tichondrius or Storm Reaver or something like that?
Storm Reaver or Tichondrius.
And like, say,
Tichondrius is pretty sick.
like if our server had like a couple of other guilds that weren't like months and months and months behind us, you know, guilds that were maybe only a couple weeks or so, or you know, up there in top 100-ish world, like Illidan has, you know, like multiple, you know, decent guilds. Like Blood Legion, they pulled raiders from like raiding rainbows and stuff to kill Spine. We had to like server and faction change friends to get like extra mages and stuff for Spine. So I mean, that server like that is definitely a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's harder on Alterac Mountains. And Tichondrius, I would go to Storm Reaver or Storm Rage over Tichondrius.
And your
Oh.
fucking,
When
your talk is so shitty on Dark Mountain, it's all your epic damage stuff. Or,
when Cataclysm first came out and I was on Illidan, I literally had to never log out because of the queue. I had a program that would click down, like simulate a mouse click like every like 30 seconds, and I would just park myself in a corner and have it like click Holy Nova every like 10 or 30 seconds or some shit
Yeah.
to keep me logged in, and also a dual bonus I was killing critters towards the guild achievement. But yeah, I had to like stay logged in like 24/7 so that when I got on for raid, I wouldn't have to try to log on like 2 hours at a time. That was crazy.
It's not bad on Dark Tier. Like, it could be better.
I don't see myself ever being on a server where you just the trolls outnumber people that are actually like nice. I don't know. I'm on a relatively small server and it's just nice for some reason.
I tried the small server. I didn't like it.
Oh,
Yeah, I hate
You know what also
Because I want to PvP and stuff, and if there's nobody to do anything with, it's so fucking boring.
the
Alright,
I love
wait.
Outback Mountain.
the huge
I know-
servers suck too for like, there's lots of like Chinese like guilds and stuff, and they all of the time you see like these things you can't understand in chat. They're like all question marks smashed together and shit. And then you have like a bajillion gold spammers. I remember before they put in the automatic chat throttling when I first moved to Illidan. Before I got you used to have a trade chat add-on, or else you couldn't read trade chat that throttled
yeah.
it. But like,
Yep.
the first time I got in trade chat, I'd never been on a server like this, and I looked at trade chat and it was like just, it was like a blur, literally. I was amazed.
Because people
Real
used to
quick,
spam this shit like 4 or 5 times where they suck.
Trip, I know you, Koilie, I know you, I'm sorry, Rob, I'm sorry, I haven't met you before, dude, I'm sorry.
I'm Andrew in stream. I don't really chat that much because I'm working on my own stuff. Neoguard on Dark Spirit Limited Edition 8 of 8 whatnot.
Gotcha, cool, okay. In stream, I'm W Brown, 3 9s. In game, I'm Shadow Pope.
Doc
We're
Pope.
on Raven Crest, which is a horrible little server, but it's ours, you know. We're proud of it.
Represent.
Oh yeah, I told you that we did that surgery the other day, and it went really
Yeah,
well.
that was the first time I fucking found out you were a doctor.
Well,
Or whatever.
yeah, but
Doctoral
yeah.
candidate.
resident or
I mean,
whatever
he's not a
they're
doctor,
called.
yeah, but-
It actually says in my email is doctoral candidate.
You know
Yeah,
who was also a doctoral candidate? That guy who shot up that movie theater.
You know,
God.
he actually was. That's the scary part.
I know, it's
fucked
really
up.
scary. It's actually terrifying that, like what made him snap, man?
Dude, you just never understand the pressure that's on you. I don't know, it's such a pressure. Not to mention he probably had some like troubles at home and his personal life. I mean, who knows? I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying like, it's not so far-fetched that people snap every once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe his girlfriend like left him for a Christian Bale lookalike.
Probably.
Oh my god.
Did I tell you I saw Christian Bale at Austin City Limits Music Festival last year?
No.
So my stepmom works for AMD, okay? So I get well, Coy, you're from Texas. You know what ACL is? It's like a big music festival, huge, like on the scale of like Bonnaroo or like those big music festivals.
I don't know. I haven't.
Okay, well it's a big music fest, ACL, and because AMD sponsors it every year because they're Austin based, we get tickets every year, VIP tickets.
Dude, take me next year.
I get 4 every year. I take my girlfriend and then I give the other 2 away. If you're in Austin, I will give them to you. I'm not even kidding.
Fuck yeah.
Um,
I'm doing it.
Anyway, we're backstage at Young the Giant concert, right? And we see this guy and we're like, there is a lot of cameras following that person. And we look closer and it's Christian Bale and we're like, oh, holy shit, that's the Batman. And we talked to his director and we're like, what are you guys doing back here? And they were filming a movie called like The Producer or something like, or like called The Agent. It's like basically this guy and he goes around and finds talent. And they were filming their like B-roll at ACL because it's like a big music venue and he was looking for like new talent. But anyway, it was Christian Bale that we saw and I took a whole bunch of videos and pictures of it. It was pretty amazing.
Dude, that's awesome. I've never met anyone famous, I don't think. My brother got a picture taken with Morgan Freeman, though.
Oh, that's kind of...
Yeah. That was pretty cool. No, not Morgan Freeman. fuck is that guy's name? He was in like the Gone in 60 Seconds. That black guy in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He got his picture taken with that guy.
30 seconds.
There you go.
Koilie, I need you to come farm heroes with me for a little bit.
Farm heroics. I'll never get back to this if I quit now.
Fine.
That's how bad I am.
Wait, you said black guy in Gone 60 Seconds?
Yeah. I think I'm thinking of the right movie.
That's the car movie where they steal cars.
Yeah. With Nicolas
With
Cage.
Nicolas Cage and...
I mean, I'm looking at the IMDb now, and it looks like the only
There
black
he
guy
is. Delroy
McBride.
Lindo. Delroy Lindo.
Who?
Here, I'll link you. This guy. Hold on, I'll link it in the stream. This is the guy my brother got his picture taken with.
Oh, I know who that is, actually.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That dude's like,
Weird.
I
If I
recognize
saw him-
now.
Yeah, if I saw him in real life at the mall or something, I'd be like, who is that guy? Is he like one of my relatives or something? But I would never know that he was like famous just looking at him.
I've seen him in a lot of stuff, so I would.
It's funny because, oh shit, sorry. My coaster just stuck to my glass, and when I lifted up my glass, the coaster came with it. So
Skull Bash.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird because in Austin you have this like weird brand of celebrity that wants to stay secretive, quote quote secretive, but they're still out in public in a small city. So like you see people like Matthew McConaughey and what's that lady? She was in Miss Congeniality.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. Yes, thank you. Like you see those celebs out all the time in that city, and like they're trying to be, I don't know, like they're trying to be private, but they're not. I don't know. It's like the most fake kind of private I can think of.
Where it's
Like
not
with
LA
like
where-
crummy baseball cap on, but they're sitting outside of a restaurant
Yeah, it's
drinking like
oh,
$500 drinks.
So private. But I just happened to get the seat outside where the paparazzi was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the game Slender?
I don't think so.
It's this new game. It's like you download it for free, and it basically it's just a small little like game, and it puts you in a forest, and you like collect these notes, and this monster called the Slender Man chases after you, and like
That's
as you collect, as you find more notes and stuff, like he comes closer to you and stuff, and like you can look around and you have a flashlight in this dark forest, and like you can see him like just chasing you, basically. He's just walking around like behind you and stuff. And sometimes you just turn around and he'll be like right there and you die.
No, thank you.
Oh my god.
The Nightmare is just describing it.
Thought I could train mining here.
I'm gonna end up like shooting my window tonight because of that.
Oh my god.
It's actually not like I thought. Like I'm a little pussy when it comes to horror games. I won't lie. And I thought that would be like I would be terrified from it, but it's actually not all that bad. Like I guess like in the close quarters and stuff, and like when you turn around and you could be like right there, that's pretty fucking terrifying. But you can literally like turn around and just like watch him.
My nightmare is like being chased by someone, and like
Oh yeah.
that describes it perfectly. Like that's the premise of the game. So, no thanks. I actually had shot out before. Have I told you that story, Trip? I feel like if anyone, I would have told you that one.
No.
Okay, it's a really funny story. It happened like 2 years ago. So, my girlfriend and I had been dating, I don't know, like 6 months. We're still together, by the way. We've been dating like 6 months. She just started to like stay the night at my apartment. I'm still in college, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly she just like screaming. I'm asleep, and I wake up, and she's screaming bloody murder. And I'm like,
God.
fuck, what's going on? What's going on? And she's like running out of the room, and I look up, and there's like this figure in my window, like a shadowy figure in my window.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh my god,
Holy shit.
someone's breaking into my apartment. So I grab my gun and I just start shooting into the window because I'm like, oh my god, like someone's trying to murder me. So I pop off like 9, I think it was like 9 rounds that held in the gun, and I pop off in the window, and like the guy's gone, like the police come, and it was this big ordeal because shots fired, whatever, and they do this whole investigation, no blood or anything. I guess I didn't hit the guy, and the next morning, my brother texts me and he's like, "Did you shoot at me?"
Oh my god, dude.
And I'm like,
oh,
"You were knocking on my window?" And he was like, "Yeah."
damn, Jesus,
like,
dude.
What were you doing? What were you thinking? And he was just telling me because I live kind of close to downtown Austin. He was like, "Yeah, we were downtown and we couldn't get a cab home, so we walked to your place and you weren't answering your phone.
Holy
And we were just thinking we would knock on the window, wake you up, and we could sleep in your apartment." And I was like, "Weren't you in the army for like 5 years? Don't you know that you're not supposed to wake people up out of sleep when they're armed? What are you thinking? The police are looking for you."
Oh my god.
So we had to call the police and call up the investigation and explain everything, and it was simultaneously really embarrassing, but also kind of a wake-up call to my brother, like, you shouldn't do stupid shit like that.
Damn, that's fucking crazy, dude.
Recount show. So if I'm doing top damage in here, I'm gonna like shit fix.
Oh, Malfurious, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I don't like have any guns myself, but I'm not like against them or anything. I just, you know. But my brother's like really good friend who lives down in the town over. He's like a super gun nut. He has like tons and tons of guns, and he's one of those kind of people that like is like the day that they tell us that we can't bear arms, they're gonna have to come take them from me.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 4 guns, which I don't think is a crazy collection. You know, it's enough. You really only need 1 at a time. 2 if you're Laura Croft.
Oh, I'll fix the sound on. That should fix it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm waiting for Mop.
34% of the damage is a tank.
I stopped worrying about rankings after about the 20% nerf hit.
At 85?
Huh?
Is he talking about at 85? 34% of the damage at level 85?
Yeah, I'm doing HOC heroics to farm out for leveling my monk. I'm doing 34% of the damage overall. I'm beating every one single target. I'm tanking them.
The smelting is the worst fucking part of this.
Corey, have you heard anything about the next expansion that's coming out? I'm sorry, not expansion. The next game, like Project Titan. From what I've heard, it's going to be a first-person shooter MMO.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm an FPS.
Kinda. I mean, I've always been
Big feelings.
decent at FPS, but never like, you know, championship kind of badass. Like I have my moments, but I'm so like fucking ADD that like I get fucking twitchy and shit, and I just can't fucking shoot at heads. Like the people that are really that kind of be a different kind of style thing though. That'd be weird. Cause WoW, you don't really need a lot of like eye-hand coordination. You just need to be. I mean, I have good eye-hand coordination, but like I said, I'm really twitchy.
Yeah, like you don't need to aim at anything. You don't need
Yeah,
to.
you just-
like you're limited by globals, so you. I mean, your rotation's pretty.
You just need to kind of.
agree, and I feel like WoW it's almost like you get into a rhythm. You know, your GCD is.
WoW's more about situational awareness than like eye-hand coordination. It's like being able to be situationally aware while maximizing your whatever your rotation for your class is. That's what WoW is, you know. It's pretty simple, but you know it has a depth to it. But adding like a more skill-based thing like first-person shooter.
But yeah, I mean, if anyone can make an MMO FPS happen, it's Blizzard. So
Now maybe if it was like, I don't know, kind of like that. Remember that Borderlands game? It was like an RPG shooter. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of. They had like levels and shit.
Yeah.
That was, and the Borderlands 2 is coming out now too, which is going to be a really good game.
I want them to just, after Miss of Pandaria, I want them to just make WoW 2.
WoW
Just like,
2.
and then Miss is done, they just need to start making WoW 2. They just need to start developing a whole new WoW, like on a new engine and everything.
Do you think they'll do that ever?
No.
Huh? Why not?
I just don't see it because there's no money in it.
Why would
There's
they?
so much in it.
They don't have a
There's a lot
story.
more money.
When Warcraft has better graphics, you don't think there's money in that?
It's the same reason why they haven't made updated character models. Like, there's no money in it. Like, I just feel like they can make a lot more money creating new expansions and content. But like, updating the engine and updating, you know, graphics is people are gonna keep playing regardless of that shit.
Yeah.
Everyone likes the way the game is now, and they don't want it to change. Yeah, it could be nice, but
I know, like, I like going back and like watching videos of fights and stuff and seeing how awesome the fights look, but really, to be honest, when I'm doing the fights, I don't know what the fuck they look like. I know what my fucking dot timers look like, and my raid frames, and my fucking, you know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
Arteries, it's myself, Andrix, Trip, and Shadow Pope.
There was like an old joke back in like vanilla, like you ask a healer what the boss looked like, and be like, it looked like these little green rectangles.
Yeah. I can tell you, like, the first time you kill Rag, the first time you kill any boss, you don't remember what the boss looked like. You remember the feeling. You know?
Yeah.
And that, I feel like that kind of holds true.
I don't know, dude, but no, I knew what Rag looked like.
Okay, see, I don't remember Rag's textures. I remember Rag, like, walking around. That was cool as shit, but I don't remember Rag's textures.
Yeah, dude. I hope that there's some fights of Rag and Lich King epicness in this expansion. I wonder what that Shafir is going to be like on Heroic. He seemed like a pretty interesting fight.
You know, I actually get flamed a lot because I really like the Rag fight, and I think it's probably the peak
Rag's
of this
a great
expansion.
fight. Yeah, you know, Rag was hands down the peak of the expansion. Heroic Rag was. I like the.
For that.
I like the tiers with heroic only bosses. You know, Augalon, Sinestra. I also like the bosses with heroic only modes. Like Ragnaros, that's an amazing idea. You have this boss and it's like boom, 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 and then you do it in heroic and you get to this like insane mode.
Extra phase.
And it's like they need all. Like I thought Deathwing was gonna. I'm like, man, they must have something in store for this. Like you're gonna defeat his body, but then the aspects are going to be broken of their power, and he's going to be broken of his power, and you're going to have to like fight a final phase in his human form without the help of the dragons.
They didn't use his human form
They
at
didn't do
all.
anything cool. Like I would have fucking made that fight so badass. It would have shit on Rag and fucking Lich King and everything.
Yeah, they had so
And
much
that
potential
fight
in
would have
that
been
fight.
sick.
Yeah,
they've really.
No, I totally agree.
I'd make like a fucking 45-minute long fight with checkpoints. Because no one, even like the 15-minute long fights like Lich King and Rag, you know when you're like 2% wipe and you have to start all over, it's a fucking devastating. So that's why there'll never be like a 30-minute fight, you know, but it would be cool if you had like a 30-minute fight. But there was like a checkpoint, you know, if you get past this point, as long as, you know,
type of deal.
you have like a trash reset style timer before you have to start over from the beginning again.
You're just making my stomach like squirm thinking about that.
Alright, I need to go.
Kill Jaden was 25 minutes and Illidan was 25 minutes.
Well, back then, I'm talking about nowadays, they won't do it again.
Yeah, no.
You just can't go backwards.
I think maybe 20 minutes would probably be the max a fight would really take. I mean, what the longest fights in this tier were like probably Spine and Madness, and they're like about 15.
Which were 15
15's
minutes.
about the average end of the like tier bosses. Like, you know, I thought Sinestra was such a great fight though. It's heroic only, fucking really good mechanics, really interesting stuff. Like they introduced like the cutters with like no boss mod interaction,
The
or no
cutter was
really
a
good.
great,
Great, so
feature.
good. And that fucking like the rack was a pretty awesome little like healer feature. And then just the phases were so awesome. Like they had a part of that where healing Kaylin and killing the eggs, and then you get to the last phase and you're back to the phase 1, but you got this uber buff, and like now when most of the time if you did that fight now, you would kill it before your Essence of the Red wore off. But back in the day that was really hard because you'd have like 2-3 minutes after your Essence of the Red wore off that you still had to fucking do the fight. And it was ridiculous at that point.
I feel like, oh gosh, I feel like a lot of people have a good point saying that because, they pay money, they deserve to see the content too. Like,
yeah,
I get that, but like, I understand that Smash was a cool boss because she was exclusive, and that's fine, but like, I really do feel like Blizz hit the mark in Firelands on Ragnaros because, they got to see the boss, but Heroic only got to see that one phase that was amazing,
I think that, I kind of think that Heroic mode should never be nerfed, but not because I'm like an elitist who doesn't think other people deserve to see it. My reason's a little more, it's selfish, but it's different than that. It's like I like going for ranks after progression's over and we're farming. I like ranking on world logs, etc. And when the fights get like progressively nerfed, like it screws up the rankings. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they need to do something
But
like
not only that,
where
but
they have like 3 different tiers.
yeah,
of
there's
difficulty. Like
there's normal,
there's
all far normal, heroic.
Where like things don't get nerfed unless like it's like absolutely impossible to do the
And
fight or something.
same thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm not that great at StarCraft, but I think that I should be able to play in the Diamond League or whatever, So you should let me do that and win. Also, I want to be able to win.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
like
not limiting any content from people in Diamond League though.
yeah, there's gonna be people like, you get to see all the content, but that's not what it is either. They say it's like, we want everyone to see the content, but really we want everyone to have the same gear. And I don't even care that people have the same gear.
They want to go for the casual players because that's where all their money's at. Because no one's going to play hardcore. They don't like jam.
Yeah. Did you see that post, that blue post? It was up on Manaflash too, but where they were like asking all the questions about that and stuff. And like, one of the things was like, don't you remember like back in like vanilla and BC when like, you're that like insane high-ranking 1% of the population, and people like would walk up to you and see you in like your tier 3 or your tier 6 and just revel in how awesome you were. And the Blues like, oh no, they never did that. They most of the time they didn't even know what it was. That's not true. When I was a noob at this game, I'm walking around Orgrimmar and I see these fuckers in their tier 6 and I'm just like, oh my god, I aspire to be this. I want to play this game better so I can have that. And you know what? I did. I took that. That was what I wanted and I did it. Now it's like, there's nothing to go for, to strive for. It's like, there's some heroic tier 13. I want that. 2 days later, I have that. When did you start raiding? 3 days ago.
Stuff with like a hand of the doll title and stuff. People would like be like, nice gear. You must be really good and all this stuff. Like,
yeah, like I don't like to. People always like instantly go to the, you're just an elitist, you don't want people to have that. It's not that. It's I was there one time. I felt that awe and amazingness looking at this other player. I didn't assume they were better than me, and I don't think they assumed they were, or I didn't assume I was better than them, and I don't think they really assumed they were better than me. They just worked harder, or had more time, or were in a better position,
Rayler, the end of TK was like a 20-minute fight or something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Exactly. See, my chat agrees. It's like, man, if you played back in the day, you remember those moments when either you were that person decked out in your tier 3 or tier 6, and you're like, yeah, bitches, check this shit, or you were that guy who was like, man, oh god, this guy's so awesome. I want to be his friend.
Well,
I mean, you.
The gear difference between now and then was that I don't know what they did to the drop system, but the tier tokens and everything.